Kia ora tātou. Kia ora everybody. Is that on? Is that working? Kia ora everyone.
Where is everyone?
Kia ora tātou.
This one,
Is it?
Where's,
We'll use them both.
good ask for the panel.
Wally, yeah. Kia ora everyone. I like that there's a lot of noise out there. Shows a lot of energy in the crowd, so if you can just keep that energy but less the silence over the next hour, that'll be very nice. Kia ora everyone, welcome to our afternoon session on Māori agribusiness. Nō reira tēnei te mihi atu kia koutou. Ko whakarauika mai nei i tēnei ahi. Karere te aroha, te whakaaro kia rātou mā e pā mai ana i tērā parekura. Ko tai mai ki Aotearoa nei. So I'd just like to acknowledge the communities and the people, the whānaus, our whanaunga on the East Coast, Hawke's Bay, Tai Tokerau, that have suffered over the last while, and in Auckland itself. So tēnei rā te mihi aroha kia rātou. And a warm welcome to you guys. So my name's Koroheke. I'm standing here as chair of Toiho, which is the Māori Advisory Committee of the NZACCC. And I'd just like to welcome up the panel members. But I'm going to kick off myself. I'd just like to take a bit of time to share with you the Māori engagement strategy that we've developed over the last year or so at NZACCC. And our objective is to engage with Māori communities, Māori agribusinesses, landowners, etc., in the climate change space and also the greenhouse gas emission space. So I think I've got a presentation somewhere. Kia ora. So as I explained, Toiho is the Māori Advisory Group in NZACCC. The members include, and most of them are here today, Claire Nicholson, Will Marg, Doug McCready, Charles Taituha, and Te Hori Paul Kraitiana, and of course myself, Chris Koroheke. But I'd also like to acknowledge the awesome support that we've had from NZACCC staff, which is Laura Kearney, and also our new staff member who's a senior Māori advisor, Roiana Pihama, who we really look forward to welcoming on board. So we defined our role at NZACCC as an influencer. So we influence the governance group, the other advisory groups that they have there, and the NZACCC directorate and staff, and matters that are in the Te Ao Māori space. So not only in the strategy space, which I'll go on to talk about later on, but also across all the programs that are running or down the pipeline at NZACCC. So we define our vision as a low emissions, sustainable food systems built on deep relation of respect and reciprocity with te taiao, and where the full diversity of Māori landowners, agribusinesses and their iwi, hapu and whānau can thrive. And this is recognising that sure, Māori agribusinesses are business, but fundamentally they're people with businesses or land, and that what's important is I guess, the culture that underpins that relationship with the land also drives the activities on the land. So when we first got together, what we thought was important to do was recenter ourselves in terms of values. We wanted to really make sure that we had our focus front and centre and in between and all over the place, because we wanted to be relevant to Te Ao Māori. We wanted to make an impact there, and we wanted them to know that we were thinking differently than a government department might think, that we are really coming from a values base. And this is something that we challenge the centre on and said it's very important if you want to engage successfully that your values are right. So then we recognise the Māori, the tapu and the mana of Papatūānuku, that kaitiaki principles and the role of kaitiaki or tangata tiaki with respect to working in food production systems is very vital. It's an underpinning principles. We have commitment to honouring the te tiriti o Waitangi, and we do this through expression and decision making, resource allocation and investment. We also see that mātauranga Māori we consider it to be an equal knowledge system with non-Māori based knowledge systems. And the beauty about that is that's the way our people think, that's the way Māori people think, and to value that as its own knowledge system is also something that enhances that relationship, but it also unleashes a whole lot of energy amongst Māori people because they can see that their knowledge actually has meaning, not just in a traditional or historical sense, but in a contemporary, very economic and very visible way. And also it was important for us to work with tangata whenua on their terms with a commitment to making meaningful impact in their communities. And I'll go on to explain a little bit later on what exactly that means. So I'd also like to talk about the Pūtea Rangahau, which is an investment funding that I guess has grown quite rapidly in the last couple of years. What it was is it's a subset of the total NZACCC investment fund that has been put aside just to focus on the Māori agribusiness, Te Ao Māori. So the priorities there initially, this is how we're looking at it, is strengthening baseline data relating to emission on Māori land, building up our knowledge, a good picture of that, holistic farm systems research, recognising that Māori people are more likely not to look at it from a component perspective to their farms, but look at the whole land relationship, their farm systems and the businesses on that as a sort of an integrated whole from a systems perspective. So we wanted to make sure that that was clear. That would also be informed by mātauranga Māori. So what we're saying there is that there is a kind of a positive disposition to Māori landowners that actually use that traditional knowledge to work their way through the solutions and the challenges that they have today. That's not to say that some of the other solutions that are available across all farms, like mainstream farms, isn't there for access by them, but we wanted to really, I guess, incubate and support mātauranga Māori Indigenous knowledge solutions. And like I said, there's also access to tools and resources that are open to all agriculture, across the agricultural sector. So the first round this year is 2.8 million, which is a very big jump up from what we've had in the previous years. We've had about 500,000, and then I guess MPI and MB have recognised that actually this is an important area, so they've really ramped it up, and so that should be acknowledged. We've extended the application date to March the 10th, recognising that Cyclone Gabriel had an effect on the communities that we wish to target, and So, and in terms of accessibility, we've shied away at this point in time against a competitive process. What we'd like to do is talk to people with ideas and concepts and then work with them in a negotiated process to see how we could, firstly, the relevance of their ideas and then how we could help develop them. And that's part of the job that Roiana PM has been employed to, I guess, to support. So for further information, there's a lot in there. It's all backed by a strategy, but I'd like to just bring to your attention the website, nzarcc.org.nz/toiho for more information there. So to date, some of the initiatives that we have invested in at the centre is takahuri whenua. So we have Tānira Kingi here, he will talk about it after me. That'll just give you a flavour of the kind of a subset of the, I guess, proposals that we're interested in supporting. Supporting research planning with iwi, that's Parininihi Ki Wai Tōtara, a case study with the farming collective group Awhina, and stock take of mātauranga Māori and kaupapa Māori research relevant to agriculture and climate change, and another project called Mauri Oho, Māori Tū, Mauri Ora. But I guess one of the things that we recognise working in Te Ao Māori is it's different to working with an industry sector. There's a whole lot of characteristics that differ, so that influences the way that you interact. And so, like, one of the things that we really know is that capability is really, it's really key. We've got to build a whole lot of infrastructure in the research space that's currently not there. Lots and lots of interest, but we don't have the, I guess, career pathways for people to come through and go through institutions, universities, CRIs, those places. We need to see more young Māori people there. And not only in institutions, but in, say, some of the wānanga that are out there that exist, which are knowledge that's based in the community, may not be the same as the university systems of learning, but are more like mātauranga Māori. And so we want to work with those groups. We want to tap into the youthful energy that's there, the insight, the positivity that we see out there. We want to focus on that and get behind that and support it. So we're launching an undergraduate scholarship program this year. I think we've dedicated about 90,000 to that. That's just three graduate positions, dedicated PhD and postdoctoral fellowships, partnership with Puhoro STEM Academy, and we'll be looking at other opportunities along the way. So that's a little bit about what we're doing at the NZACCC in terms of our Māori strategy. And so it not only sits inside the Māori strategy, but we've packed that away this year, so we're going to roll on and look at and work with NZACCC and their mainstream programs as well to see what's possible there.